Good afternoon and welcome to today's Woodworking Wisdom. So today, I'm going to look at new range of planes we've just got in, something a little bit different. They're similar to what we've done, but a few new features, so it'd be interesting to have a look. All right, obviously, if you've got any questions, I've got Matt here doing the computer stuff. He'll try and answer those with you, okay? So hope that gives you an idea of where we're heading. Basic hand plane, we all kind of use. All right, it's amazing how many people still use a hand plane. I've still got to pick up, use a plane. You've seen me do regular jobs where we've done the board we've got down here. Totally were plane, and that was actually done with one of the new planes. So it was quite a good test for me to give something that we've got, have a play with. So, what can be different in a plane? The basic design. This is a Bailey plane. It's been around since mid 1800s, 1880s, I think. Okay, Edward Bailey designed this. So what's changed? Not too much in that amount of time, but each plane manufacturer tries to tweak things and adjust things. So it's quite interesting having had what we did before. What's changed on this? Can you change much? So we're going to look at basic bench planes, Bailey style, and then I've got a few other things as well we're going to have a look at. So on number 4 is the workhorse of most people. All right, so let's have a quick look. Let's see if we can get you a bit nearer. Let's do an overhead, I think. Let's have a look on here. So turn them around, it'd be the right way for you guys. There you go. So number 4, basic plane. Most common plane actually probably used to sell. All right. My hand plane, when I bought my first plane, I bought a number 5. We'll look at in a second. Why? My dad had a number 4. So therefore I didn't really need to repeat what I'd already got. So my first plane I bought at the age of 14 years old. This is probably better kit now than what I bought then. And I bought a Stanley plane back then. So some of the features that I will have kicked off about over the years, we probably looked at here. So basic plane has a high ductile body. All right, so this is cast, then accurately machined. Now, if I turn it over, hoping you can see they're quite good. Got a few fingertip marks. It's amazing how quickly, not that I'm nervous at all right? Get a bit warm in here. So fingertip mark, but you can see how that looks quite nice and clean down through there, accurately ground, the sides are accurately ground. So that's a real fundamental part. Major thing with this, I get lots of people where they come and say, my plane's not dead straight. You need to test it with something that is straight. Let's move back a bit there. So I've got Veritas straight edge. You can't use a ruler for this. You've got to use something that is guaranteed straight. So normally I'd hold this up to the light and we can check it's pretty good. Okay, nicely ground, nice fine finish as well. Sides, a lot of people kind of say, are the sides dead square? Now I'm gonna have to hold this up, Matt. You probably go main camera. I'm gonna use the light we've got. I've got a little bit there, not a lot. Let's flip him round. A little bit of angle there. Now, I've got to admit, getting older, so let's have a proper look. Let's put them on. Okay, because we can get the shadow off of there. Got a tiny little bit out on that side, which means this side will have a little bit there, a bit high one side. Okay, so tiny bit out of square. Not something we guarantee a thing of, all right? 9 times out of 10, people are never going to use the plane on its side. But even if I use this with a shooting board, I've still got lateral movement of the blade, so I can correct that and get the board square by moving the blade about. So that's something to think about. Now, other major thing that's changed in here than from before, this has what I would class as a lever cap. So let's have a quick look on the overhead. So instead of having a screw knob, this has a lever cap. Nicer fitting. This has a gunmetal type finish. I really like that. All right, a bit more stylish actually. Nicely cast, good spring load mechanism. Blade and ship breaker. I'm just going to take out, put them there. I don't want you to think I'm cheating. Look, now got to get into here. So I'm going to undo the 2 frog screws. There's one. That's the other. Screwdriver's got a little bit magnetic tip on it. So just pick that screw up. Got to be a bit careful because I don't want to drop the washers. Going to lift this out. Let's put our bolt back in that hole a minute. Okay, major thing that's definitely different from my point of view over anything I've seen before is this. All right, let's bring this up. So this is the winder method to operate the frog, to move it forward and back so we can close the mouth up. So by closing the mouth up, we can actually reduce the amount of tear out the shaving has by lifting. So the pressure is kept on the front of the mouth, it's nearer to where the blade's cutting, holds that shaving down in place. If I've got the mouth really open, you get more tear out. So depending on what I'm cutting, I might adjust that. So, but this is quite unique. This has a little brass hub and your adjustment wheel. That's actually really nice. Traditionally, your casting here would have a hole machined in. It made it more problematic, first of all, with where the handle fitting is to get in. You've still got that a little bit, but it's a bit higher up. Also, you're trying to make sure they machine it nice and accurately. With the flange bit, not so much on the 4, but definitely on the 5, it made it more difficult to machine. So actually, that little stub maybe makes it a bit easier to manufacture. I think it makes it smoother operating to get to as well. So I can actually get my screwdriver into that screw, onto there, we can wind forward and back really easily. The little wheel section, I pick the frog up carefully without dropping the screws. Locates on the groove here on the back of the frog. Nicely machined. Everything is nice and clean, not heavily painted, likewise within the plain body. So therefore, everything is nice and accurate where this sits in, because if you get any play on the frog as it's sat in, it's going to wobble about. So I've just pulled it forward a little bit. I can test it. That's nice and flat. We're going to put the screws back in, but that little adjustment wheel, something that I've never seen before. Other little thing we better look at. I'm jumping the gun. Lateral movement. Up on here. Now again, let's take this out. So this is on the frog. Much more stylish on here. Now, instead of this being a press plate piece of steel, nice round disc on the front, securely fitted. Brass adjustment hub on the back here. So therefore, everything is easier to move. Maybe it's more aesthetical, but actually, this is so much better to locate in the blade, more accurately done instead of being a bent press piece of steel in place. So that's other little feature I really liked. Okay, let's bring our screw back in. Gonna just finger tighten that down. Adjustment wise, I've got a little bit of play on here. You can probably see if I wiggle it, I can move it about. So I need to check. First of all, I'm in the right location on our wheel. I can, if I play with the wheel on the back here, that frog adjustment screw, I can wind it up. All right, I've got my hand on the front, we'll stop pushing the play. That's probably as far as I can go. If I come back the other way, we can bring it back. Hopefully you can see our frog is moving back a little bit. Okay, so we can go forward and back on here really easily. Position wise, I'm just squaring it up now, leveling up with the back edge of the mouth. That's not bad. Let's tighten the screw up one side, then the other. So I'm trying to get it parallel to the mouth. So far we've looked at that adjustment wheel, lateral, last bit. Workhorse bit of the plane, it's the blade. All right. So blade and chip breaker. Let's do the chip breaker first. So instead of it being, and I'm going to grab the older one I've got. All right, bring them back. There you go. We have traditional one was a bent plate press piece of steel again. They do provide spring pressure, but they can be twisted, distorted, lots of different shapes. I've seen these over the years and can take a bit of effort to get this flat so it sits on the blade all the way across. More modern chip breaker. Instead of it being press plate, this is machined. So it even has a little step just on the front here. I don't know if I can show you how much of an angle. Got a tiny little step. Other thing I can use, little feeler gauge on here. You can see that step created there. That's quite important. Now, with this not having such amount of twist of what we get on here, all right, and I need to come back just a little bit there. This provides a lot of spring pressure, but can actually distort the blade, can actually bend it. This being flatter, you haven't got such a risk. It's also thicker. And that will go on. The blade, major talking point. This is a 01 cryogenically treated blade. All right, so something a little bit different. Now, when we did the chopping board the other week, the 2 bits of sycamore, the bit of oak, that's what we used, one of those blades. It worked fantastically, really held its edge. Nicely done, nothing too deep of the grind line, so actually nice and flat. I compare it to one of my original Stanley blades that I had. I'm hoping you can see the difference. Look at the grinding lines on here coming across. Now, each of those grinding lines, if they were left where they were on the front of the blade, they come through the front, they create a little groove. The other problem with the thinner blades, they tend to be pressed out. So this is, I think, 2 mil thick. This is a millimetre thicker, so 3 mil. Doesn't sound much, does it? A millimetre thicker. So these are actually laser cut. So therefore they're flatter. So it takes less time to make sure we get that nice shine across the front here. They're then ground with a brush finish. So definitely more accurate as a finish, which means less time trying to level it, sharpen it, and all those other little things we hate. All right, you can see how I've got an edge on this, sharpen that up, turn over, both sides exactly the same. So accurately ground. Chip breaker back on. Let's bring them up. Okay, so we could set that up. Now, next question I kind of get, I've got to remember where I put it there, okay? And I'm just going to move a few things about. I've got one other thing to show you. We could do that first. Let's move our 4 back in to there. So I've already said to you about how clean this is, all right? I'm quite shocked on how clean that undersurface is. Nice and smooth, nothing rough. I get feeler gauge, it glides across there effortlessly. So nice and smooth will give you clean momentum. So I've been and got a bigger plane, right? This is number 7 from a competitor, okay? I was shocked by this. This has got lots of little grooves and ridges in here. All right, so you can see, I hope, how coarsely, back in, there you go, that's been ground. Look at all those lines, all right? So they're going to reflect on what happens when you're trying to move it along the board. That's going to create more drag, more friction, might even scratch the surface a little bit. That to me has just been put on a linear ground flat and hopefully might be straight. The hopefully might be, that's a strong word, okay? So definitely quite coarse. This also has a lacquered surface, so I'd need to clean that off. So that smoother finish, quite important. Next thing I really like, and I was one of the ones that really definitely kicked off about this year to go, and we've stuck with wooden handles. Nice wooden handles make it nicer to grip. They feel more comfortable. My Stanley plane I bought when I was 14, number 5, had plastic handles. It was horrible to grip. So Sapele handles work nicely. Good size, easy to get hold of, lateral movements, good position. I can move it, okay? So all those little things are adding up. Okay, so we've looked at bad prep, if you like, on that long plane, how deep the scratches are. Now we've got number 4, a 5. Oh, if I can get them, number 6. Okay, so these just gradually get slightly longer in length. Well, the main question, especially when I used to work in the shop, is thinking of buying a plane, what do I want? Okay, they have different tasks. The longer plane is more suited for flattening maybe the board back. The shorter one we can use for quick roughing out. So if I'm going to rough out, what would I do? A couple of things I might change on it. I have spare blades for most of my planes. I even have spare blades with this sort of shape. Let's have a look, Matt. Let's do a quick. All right, this is scrub plane blade. So I've sharpened this just with a curve, so it's exactly the same blade. Put a curved face on it. I sharpen, polish it. Let's set it up. I think we'll use that for a minute and we'll try and use the 4 and 5 for different tasks. So we'll take that out. swap it over. Let's set it up. Got to come up just a little bit. So the chip breaker is almost in line with either corner on the side of that blade. Can't be any further because we've got that curved face. So just a little bit, man. Let's just have a quick, right? So you can see the curved bit just overhanging. I can't get a curved chip breaker as easily, but I can make a curved blade. Drop that in. Cap iron can come back in, tighten up. Checking our blade position using lateral movement or the winder here to move. I class it as wheel adjuster, and then you get the yoke. Again, they've done something there, tighten that up. There's not as much movement as in backlash, so that's quite nice. Let's bring that back a little bit there, coming out. Come back. Just feeling where the blade is. Can have a little bit on this. Okay. Let's lose our bit of ash. We've done a lot of work with that, so I don't want to destroy that. Let's have something we can put up in here. Trying to keep you guys a little bit in there. Get that. Got to just bring the vise back just so it can hold it. I'll probably drop the camera back just a little bit. Pin that in. Okay, let's just lean up a minute. There you go. So in here, if I wanted to level this off, first thing with this is a bit of board, and you're going to say it's a bit of softwood. This is a piece of Japanese cedar, something quite unusual. It's pretty flat there, if anything, probably a little bit hollow. Across the board, there's quite a lot of rock. So not very flat that way. With my number 4, with it being shorter, it's more controllable. It will also hit the unevenness better, if you like. So I can work crossway. So scrub plane blade really working nicely. Go down a little bit. Now again, by working across it, I'm riding across that middle ridge, helping to flatten it back. Change direction. Now my shaving on this is going to be more curved shape. It's amazing by having a curved shaving, if you like. Seems to take less effort to cut. We're probably only using a very shallow point at the middle at the moment. Gently working along. Winning. In and back in, look. That'll be that whatnot there. Got him. So we're starting to flatten that back nicely. So the 4, like I said, definitely more controllable. So I just kick the camera stand. Having a feel what's going on. Go down the grain now. Plain body, what's happening here? Nearly flat, actually, that's good. Okay. Going to change planes, so we could go from the 4, go to the 5, a little bit longer. So by being longer, we've got surface contact that will help get the board straight quicker and easier. Whew. Go faster juice, a bit of candle wax, just to help it glide. Need to set this up. Change the blade on this earlier, sharpened it. Need to bring it up. Let's just have a look. Very much on one side at the moment. Test block. With the scrub plane that we just used in the floor, not such an issue. I could put the straight plane back in the floor and use exactly the same thing. Just touching there, that's good. Anything? Just a little bit far out. Let's bring him back, bring it up. See what we're getting. Nothing yet. Good. I've got a funny idea. Let's have a look a minute. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Bring me back in camera, Matt. Helps to double check all those little things you're meant to do. Problem with doing video prep. We sharpened it, got to be careful doing that. Need to tighten that. Nice and firm. So in other words, I've just wound forward. And all I'm winding is the chip breaker. Sit in, that's better. Put it back together. See, we are too high out at the moment. I can see that just from the position. That's better though. Feel the blade instead of the chip breaker on the back. Matt's sat here kind of laughing. It could only happen on a video. We didn't have this problem the other week when we made that nice chopping board. Okay, good. Okay, got a little bit of a high spot down the end. So by going with the number 5, we should flatten the board back quicker. So the number 4 I can use for fast, quick stop removal. Number 5 or even the 6, get it at this end, will help flatten it back. Nearly there, that's looking better. This little bit down this end really. Okay. See if we can get something just a little bit lighter. Bring it up. Cutting just a little bit left-hand side. Do a tiny bit. That's better. So now I'm just playing with that lateral lever. Now I do know over the time when we're playing with planes in here, people kind of go, I wish my plane would do that. We did the Christmas decoration last year. Lots of comments of, wish my plane would do that. All you've got to do is make sure it's sharp, make sure it's flat, all those little things. So this pretty much straight out of the box. And when we did the chopping board, it was exactly that scenario. Straight out of the box, I sharpened it, off I went. Really, really good results. Really like using it. Quite a nice plane. Good weight to it. Now, I don't know if you can see on here. Let's have a quick look. Let's bring this up. That's made a nice job. Can't beat that hand plane finish. Ooh, smooth. All right, better than a sander. Okay, so I know what you're all thinking. Let's try this then. All right, do a little bit on this. Just finding our position again. This has got little bit uneven on the back, so I've got to make sure I pinch it in right. This, I expect, if you look at it in the second on the camera, you'll see, what do you reckon this is? Nice bit of English oak. And sword cut on here, so at the moment, which I haven't really shown you, this is full of little ridges of the bandsaw blade. Bit of weight in here, you might see, so I've got to get rid of all that at the moment. This is off-cut when we did the clock project. So we've gone from something actually relatively soft, where you've sharpened to a 30-degree angle on this. We're working that out. That bit there on this end. This is giving you a good idea of what that cryogenic blade will do. It's holding it dead nicely. Got a high spot down there. Might be going back to that number 4 on the scup plane in a minute. Okay. Open. Ooh, nice. Around. Trickier thing to do. A bit harder. Definitely feels better. Okay. Let's have a quick move about and move some of this out of the way. Looking where we want to work to. Oh, so let's go block plans. Now you kind of get the idea in here. Most things get used. That's just what we're doing now. A bit of practice. We've got stuff we need to glue together or whatever. I'll skim it with a plane. Go get my breath back. All right, okay. Who said the bit of oak was harder? Just bring the vice up. So what we got here, new block planes. Okay. So these have, from what I understand, a high ductile and cast body. Have that off. I've got one, I think I've got a bit of tape on. So this is the 60.5, the 69.5 there, and the 9.5 is there. Okay. These have, let's do the body bit first. So let's have a look, Matt. So we have high ductile iron body, cast machine, nice and accurate again, smooth base underneath. Easy adjustment wheel, left and right lateral movement. That's quite nice. We've also obviously got on these 3 adjustable mouth. You can't adjust the frog on this, so we need to adjust the mouth. We have a 01's tool steel blade. I'll go in, no chip break on a block plane. Most important thing with this, the bronze bit. All right, now why bronze? It's heavier, adds more weight, helps keep the plane down if you like. Have a weird thing, always feels warm. That's a weird thing. So when you pick it up, it's comfortable, it's warm, it doesn't feel cold. Also designed, they'll fit nicely into the palm of your hand. So that's about sitting here, fingertip grips either side, off you go. So good weight on there. That's almost like small smoothing plane. This is high angle, so this is the same angle in reality. And you're going to kind of say, no, it's not, it's your number 4. I need to bring that back, look. Okay, let's have a quick look. Okay, number 4, the blade is beveled down. If we take our block plane, you're going to take this off. We can use this as mini smoother. In reality, they face, all right, so that's presented at the same sort of angle with the blade up. All right, so you can use this almost as a small number 4, a bit all-round use. It'll work nicely. Let's drop that back in. We'll go back a notch. Major thing that I say with that, obviously that brass cap, nice and heavy, adds a bit of weight. That's so the 69.5 we're doing a set. Let's do the 9.5. The 9.5 is low angle. so not as high. I think if I lay them down there and there, you should be able to see the difference between the blade position. So lower angle makes it easier to cut, so definitely better for end grain work. The 69.5 is a combination of the two, so in reality it is wider. Right, so this is, I've got to think now, it's not quite 2-inch, right, 1 3/8, something like that, right? This is 38mm, can't remember what the width is on here, okay? Can't have everything on one day, right? But they do vary just a little bit. So the wider blade can be good if you want that extra width. Again, you've got to think about that width, how you're holding it. Depends on hand size, right? A little bit narrower. If you've got small hands, the narrower one will be better. Again, they've got all those same features: the bronze, high ductile iron body, lateral movement, adjustable mouth. All right, so pretty much the same. Oh, small apron plane. These are quite nice. These are designed, they're really small, grip in the palm of your hand easily. No lateral on this, so you use pin hammer to tap either side. You can move your blade left or right. Bronze cap on this, easy to use. Your blade, all right. Nice fine adjusting for the blade direction on here. All right. So where have I put one bit there? I've got no idea what these are going to be like at the moment. Got my nice wild bit of ash. Trying to see which way we're going. Too much. All right. But with something like that, it'd be great for just coming along. So even with my wild grain, if I put it through a machine planer, it tears the life out of it. Okay. Other weird things that people don't always think with a block plane, and I'm just making some room. So low angle, got to come up a bit. So let's undo a bit, make my life easier. Lock it off a little bit more. Just getting a feel of where the blade is. I'll put my shooting board back up. I can even use that up on here. All right, now I know you guys are back in there a little bit. Let's just see if I can drop that to there. Well, you might on your camera, let's have a look. Good. All right. So occasionally you'll use my low angle block plane just on there. Nice, easy to control. Works there, so I can get everything nice and dead square on the end of here. It's quite small. People say, how's this stay on? You've got your ridge down on here. Hoping you can see that. We'll thin it about. The bottom of the plane, you've got that amount of material that runs on that ridge. So it's not going to cut that. So it allows me to take my cut nice and easily. Done one end, look, got a lot on this end. So small, delicate things, fantastic to use. Little block plane on a shooting board. Real simple little one. So, block planes are done. Let's have a quick flick round. Little router plane. All right, now again, everything that we've looked at is pretty set in stone. It's been there for 100 odd years. Small router plane, this has open and closed mouth. So closed, open, little blade, right angle. I get people say, what do you use it for? It is indispensable at times for certain little tasks I have to do. I want to go back a hole on there. Am I going to reach? And then you'll see where we're heading in a minute, hopefully. I'll just set up. Just go to 3. Let's go back a bit. Right, okay. One of the things I love this for, especially doing mortise and tenons, I love doing the haunch up on this end. You can set it to that. Now, traditionally, you might use a chisel. This is repeatable, accurate, set up. Now, I can take gentle cut out there. Sometimes I might even be able to get to the bottom of the mortise. I've still got quite a section on here, it depends on. And the weird thing I use it for occasionally, clean out the bottom of my dovetails, because I've got a way of setting it. Bring that down. Hoping you can see where we've got our blade. So I can actually clean that up. Each one come across. The weird little things you can possibly adapt it for that people don't always think of. One of my favourite little things. I wish I had router plane when I was at college. Would have solved some of those little issues I had. All right. So simple little one, that one. Oh, I haven't got the Allen key. Do is something. Let's have a quick look, Matt. Just go back to free a minute while I set my block up. Okay. Shoulder planes, this is 3-in-1. So we have chisel plane, if I unbolt the front totally. If I reach up and find short section, we can have 2-in-1. That'll bolt on. Or we can have it as we've got at the moment, which is the long one. Again, versatile bit of kit, especially if you start making cannons or anything, you want to get right into the corner, called shoulder plane, because we can get up into here. I can work from either side. Get to that. So I don't break out. We can obviously come along. If we go with, I'm just going to run over here. Don't know where I've hidden them. That's the one. Allen key. We can undo as we said. A screw. When making it into a chisel plane, we can actually work with the grain down it. Does take a little bit of effort. You've got to guide it gently, slice in action. So I can get right into the corner instead of having that extra length. Shorter one. Very nice. I've got a little shim in here which comes with, we can have it without. Don't need too much. That gives you spacing for a heavier shaving. Normally, I'd probably use it the long length. Again, quite an old traditional design. So these have a grey cast iron body, which is a finer grade from what I understand. All right, so simple to put back together. Off we go. All right. Brass again on the top. That warm feeling, nice shape. This sits in the palm of your hand nicely. In, tighten it. You don't want loads of pressure. You've got your pressure point down on the front. You've got a blade. We can take in and out. Weirdly, over the traditional ones, this has more of a cutout for the adjuster. They used to have little grooving underneath, a bit like we got with a block plane. So that's actually a bit more positive and allows less slip here. Also, finer adjustment on the wheel. So all those little things add up. Very versatile little plane. All right, so that's the 3-in-1. Let's put that down. We've already therefore done the 2-in-1. I don't need to get that down. A couple of other little shoulder planes we've got. I either do chisel plane or, as its name applies, shoulder plane. So we have chisel plane. Come back into the camera. Let's have a quick look. Is that to there? These have got quick adjustment. If I want to lock that in place there, is that screw? Other screw on the back here. Just about see locks the blade down. So when I've set a position, I can lock it off. That puts pressure and go across. Let's bring it up a little bit. So I've got a bit of pressure on there. That's good. So we're just winding the blade down again. Tiny bit. A little bit more. The magic thing of patience. Oop. Moved it. That wasn't clever. So, all right, so we can cut across. Nice fine on that one at the moment. So that will clean up our tannin again. We can get into our shoulder. We can obviously get in between something as a section, depending on the width. All right, from memory, this is 28mm wide. All right, so narrow one, exactly the same thing, just slightly longer length, but exactly the same purpose. We have longer front. Better just have a quick look mat on the. All right, so longer length means it's more of shoulder plane than chisel plane. We can get it up, but narrower, so it'll get into those tighter areas, which is good. That's 3/4. Right, okay. Move those out of the way before I drop them all on the floor. Last two. Duplex plane. Okay. This was one of these weird and wonderful things when I first got. I went, it's a what? Okay. Again, traditional things. So this has 2 bars instead of 1. Traditionally, they would have had 1. 2 bars is actually more supportive for the fence. So if we undo the 2 lock screws, get one there, one up there. Need to get the screwdriver around a bit more. I can also adjust the fence from up here, so we can move things in and out. I'm going to tighten those back up. And the front, we could put wooden fascia on here, would be good, which I'll show you. So on your fence, it'd be worth bolting on a wooden strip. We've got 3 screw holes to bolt that in. We have depth adjustment, that's on here. We also have scoring blade. Now, when you get the scoring blade, you'll need to set it up. Most people kind of go, is it not set? They might need bending a little bit. They will need sharpening. All right. So now, mate, if we can just have a, that's in here. All right. It's in, there's 3 positions. There's 1 blank place, which is where I've got at the moment. The scoring edge I've got is around here. I can move it round the hole, put it in, set it up. Need to sharpen it though. Okay. Why don't they sharpen it? Because there's 3 of them. They never, you know, there's 2 spare lives in it, if you like. We can set our depth. We've got our fence. We have blade in here. You can also have the blade on the front. That was a bit of a mystery to me. Had to do a bit of research. So you can actually do, if I can find it, I'll stop groove. Okay, right into here. This does involve using a chisel. So you will need to cut it straight, cut a little bit out. You can get the plane, if I turn it over, that way. That's how near to that I can get. You can see the front of the plane. The other blade would be there. So you can actually get right into that corner point pretty much. The chisel needs to do that last bit. Then I'll take the blade back to the position we're in now and remove all the heavy bulk all the way down through. Took me a bit of practice. But having used this, get it set up, where's our fence there? Let's bring it forward again. This can be quicker than getting out that big electric router. Move my shaving so I'm not sat on it. Ever had that problem? There it is. Need to get my thumb out the way, I'm deflecting it. There it is. Being a bit vicious now, aren't I? Let's take a lighter one, making paper. Much looking shocked that I'm taking heavy wood shavings. Set it up nearly there. So, a bit of effort. There's a little bit of time. That's better. I think you get the idea. All right. So we started to create our rebate. Let's have a quick look on here. We haven't gone down too deep yet. Just on here, taking that corner bit out. So can be done. Doesn't take too much work. Cold air found in the room would be good. So Matt, you could have done this one today. You could have, right? So pretty much got one plane to do. All right. The scraper plane. Where's my board? What should we go with? Let's go with our chopping board. Look. Downside we're going with the chopping board. I don't want to use those that way round, do I? They mark. Okay. So scraper plane has grey iron body. Okay. Nice handles, a bit like a spoke shape. You have much thicker blade, which is down in here. It's 3mm thick again. So less distortion, less bending. I've sharpened it. I put a bear on it, a bit like you would with a cabinet scraper, or you can sharpen it just to a really sharp edge. This thing, oh, it's great for this. Now, you should get, if you sharpen it right, a shaving, okay? And it will help you clean up. Right, takes a bit of effort. Easier to do than using a normal cabinet scraper because you've got something to grip, something to push, got something to keep you nice and flat. All those things are a benefit, especially on a flat surface. All right, nice shape, good weight, nice handles, somewhere to grip. I even find I can use it pulling towards me, or we can push, whichever way you want to work. Okay, so gives you an idea of really what's new. The major changes definitely have been with the workshop plane. One of the questions I did get the other week when I was going through the shop, someone came, why have we changed the name from rider to workshop? Really, it's the fact that we've changed the design. So cap iron, the adjuster, different blade. So we need a break point to know which stock is what. So if we get returns or we get a problem with, or you get a part or you want, we know which plane it was. So that's one reason really is the fact of why it's changed the workshop. Okay. Hopefully, clears a few of that up. I don't think Matt's got anything he's got to ask me. He's sat there looking at a bit, nothing very exciting. Nuts. Hang on. What you got, mate?
There's a question from Cliff, and he says, you suggested about a wooden guide for the plough plane.
For the duplex plane? What have you got? Plough plane?
Plough plane, yeah.
Not something we do at the moment, Cliff. The nearest thing we got to that is almost that duplex plane, but that's got wide plane. Plough plane, you would have something narrower, but similar. Veritas do. All right, not something we will probably do because we're never going to sell loads of.
What is the benefit for it?
Of what, using a plough plane?
Yeah.
Plough plane will cut a narrower groove really, but you could do a groove into almost like a door rail. So if you wanted to put a panel in, you could actually cut the groove all the way up through it and not have the bit missing on the side. So you could actually cut that groove nicely. Not something we're going to probably have. I know I thought I had, but I know the Veritas ones, what have I got on there? Got the one down the other one, maybe. Go for a wonder again. All right, this will give you a bit of an why he's asking. All right, so this is smaller type plough plane. This has siphons, a bit similar in ways to the duplex blade. We have small blade on here. We can do different size blades on this. So this is Veritas one, depth adjuster. So very similar in ways to that duplex plane, but narrow blade. So it allows you to do things that you couldn't do with a normal plane. You can cut a groove if you like. You can do tongue of groove setup. You cut your tannins. Yeah, it can be it. All right. Love using these, especially if you've got a small job to do. Get it out. Right, run those through so they can be good, right? But Cliff, the only one we sell like that will be the Veritas, sadly. All right, if you like one, they're a good plane, I guarantee it. All right, Matt, anything else? That's it. Fantastic. So really, like the major difference is definitely with the bench planes. Chip breaker, that cryogenic choji blade is fantastic. All right, I'm one of those skeptics where we get a new blade and I kind of got to look at the blade. I'm a bit like all of you guys. I've got to level it, got to flatten it. I was shocked on how good that was. Okay, so yes, it will take a little bit of work. You've seen me use the scary sharpening board, the Waterstones. you can sharpen that and get it flat really quick. Then I was shocked on how well it held its edge. And I know when we did the chopping board, the sycamore, the bit of oak, I think I sharpened it twice during the whole video. When we did the chopping board, we glued it up. It took us 2 days of shooting the video and me making lots of shavings. All right. So it gives you an idea how much we used it in that period of time. It did a lot of work. So really like that. Nice plane. Good to go with. All right. My favourite plane's got to be a 5. Hope you enjoyed. Now, other sensible things I need to bounce off you. If you're anywhere near Axminster Saturday, we have open box events in the store. So we've got some stuff. I've even got my old planes have gone to there. I haven't signed them yet, but they will be over there. All right. So if you're about and you want to come to that, there's loads of different stuff. Bit of a bargain area at the weekend. Right. So that's Saturday in the store in Axminster. Right. So that's there. Hope you've enjoyed. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. I'd love to hear from you if you've got any questions. We'll see you for next week. It's Tuesday. It's Thursday today, isn't it? All right. So more woodworking wisdom. Thank you all very much. Bye then.